Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Erica, and if you're new, I'm the founder of the Scholars Toolkit. It's a blog dedicated to reimagining the standard for the next generation of students. So as I've mentioned in previous videos, I've graduated from my undergrad, Clark-Atlanta University, debt-free, and I'm here to give you the tea on how you can do it too. So before I jump into it, I just want to give you some background. I was a Dean Scholarship recipient at CAU. That simply means that I had my tuition covered for all 4 years, and that's equivalent to about $80,000. So when I tell people that I'm a recipient of over $100K, over $130K in scholarships, I'm not talking about my offer letters that I've received from other schools. I'm talking about me being committed to CAU and all the money that I've accumulated along the way in that journey. So with that being said, let's get right into it. So with my tuition being covered, it relieved the stress that I had of only focusing on paying my room and board, my meal plan, my books, and obviously like other essentials to surviving. Because as I've mentioned in other videos, I was adamant of not taking out any loans whatsoever. I was gonna find a way or make one, CAU's famous mantra. So with that being said, here are my 8 tips that I used during my collegiate journey, and I hope that will help you graduate debt-free. Tip number 1 is to stay organized. Now, I'm preaching to the choir right now simply because my organizational skills is a constant work in progress. However, if I didn't have a planner to document scholarship deadlines, I don't know where I would be. You know where I'd be? I'd have student loan debt that I'd be stressed about. So having a planner, whether it's digital or a hard copy, my personal preference is the way to go. Utilizing a planner kept me organized, it kept me aware of deadlines, and also held me accountable. Because let's be real, everybody wants to graduate debt-free, but not everyone is gonna put the work in. No one is going to hand you 5K. No one's gonna hand you 10K. So my planner was essential. And with that being said, let's get to tip number 2, is having a variety of letter of recommendations in your arsenal. So I would recommend at least 3 letters of recommendation. And people think you can only get a letter of recommendation from your teacher, but utilize your guidance counselors, your previous bosses, or even a community leader that you have a relationship with. So for example, your pastor. Also, make sure to request that they do not specify of the scholarship. So for example, if your guidance counselor is writing this letter for you, make sure they don't say, I'm recommending Natasha for the ABC scholarship. You know why? Because you're gonna wanna recycle these scholarships. You're gonna be applying for hundreds of them if you are determined to graduate debt-free. So you don't wanna constantly email, hit this person up, asking them to revise this. Make sure that it is specific but general enough that you can reuse it. And obviously, make sure you have a relationship with this person before asking them for a letter of recommendation, simply because how much can a stranger say about you? How much can they vouch for you and your work ethic? All right, tip number 3. Keep all of your essays in one place. Some scholarships, they're gonna wanna ask for a 250-word essay, 500, some might even push it to 1,000. So if you have all of your past essays in one area, you can reduce your stress, recycle your essays, and reuse the relevant and necessary information. Now, obviously, I'm not telling you to self-plagiarize or copy and paste one essay into 30 applications. No, be cognizant of the prompt that they're asking for, and just be cognizant of how relevant your past essays are to this current prompt that you're applying for. Simple. So let's get to tip number 4. Tip number 4, don't focus on big name scholarships. Everybody is applying for the Chick-fil-A, the Coca-Cola, the McDonald's scholarship, and that means you are a smaller fish in an ocean. When you focus on smaller scholarships, it may not be $10,000, but it might be $1,000 or $500. You are a bigger fish in a smaller pond. Simply means less competition. So I'm actually gonna do a separate video on this because this was like my winning strategy. So stay tuned for that. Now let's get to tip number 5. Tip number 5 is get somebody you trust to proofread your application. We can all be the best and brightest straight A student, but we all make mistakes, and having a fresh set of eyes looking over your work, looking over your application can save you from a rejection letter. So my mom is my personal grammar snob, and I always run my work by her just to make sure that it makes sense. Now, if you don't have someone in your life who will be able to evaluate your work or offer their opinion, I would say read your work out loud. Read your essay out loud. That is the best way that I found also of spotting mistakes. Also, download Grammarly. They have a plugin for Chrome as well as Microsoft Word, and that helps you edit your work in real time. Tip number 6 is to get a side hustle or a part-time job. I really feel like the whole country got a side hustle, but this is what saved me during college, just because it was the fire under my butt to become financially enrolled without loans. And it also taught me how to budget in real time. So when I was in undergrad, I was a part-time barista at Starbucks, and I also had an on-campus job. So I worked maybe about 20-25 hours a week at Starbucks on top of my course load. And then on evening times, I worked on campus in a call center. So basically all I really was doing was calling alumni and asking them if they would want to donate to the school. And I got paid in the form of book scholarships. So I didn't even have to worry about books because of my job as well as my on-campus job. So obviously we're in a pandemic right now, and you have to get creative in regards to a side hustle, just because some of us may not be on campus or able to work. Check out Fiverr, utilize your skills. You are talented, you have your purpose, so just tap into it. So tip number 7 is to say thank you. Gratitude goes a long way, and you get a lot more bees with honey than you do with vinegar. So whether you receive a rejection letter or an acceptance for your scholarship, make sure to thank that person. I want to share a story. So right before I started undergrad, I was at a scholarship banquet for someone else. Like, I wasn't even receiving the scholarship, and to be honest, like, I really didn't even want to go. But during the networking hour, I ran into my 7th grade teacher, and I'm laughing simply because she wasn't my favorite teacher at the time, okay? Math wasn't my thing. She was very strict. She was on me. I would go to tutoring with her during lunch, but she played such a part at my time at that school that I had to thank her. Little did I know that she was a part of the board for that scholarship committee. And after the networking hour ended, she ended up going on the stage, and she was like, I want to announce the scholarship for Erica Rollins. Haven't seen her in years, but the fact that I thanked her, I'm telling you, and God's grace is the reason why I got that scholarship. So my last tip is really a bonus. I know there's a lot of people on YouTube telling you to go on FastWeb, scholarships.com, and the like, But this website that I discovered on the latter end of my college career is a game changer, okay? I've received several scholarships from this website, and it's called Unigo, UNIGO.com. It's a free platform. You have to create an account, and they curate the scholarships based on obviously how much information you share, and it just gets so specific. So, you know, whether you're an HBCU student, whether you're Polish, whether you play a sport or an instrument or whatever, it's such a great platform, and I definitely recommend you check it out, create an account, and you never know, you might be getting another scholarship from them, I'm telling you. And they have scholarships ranging from the big leagues, the $25,000, down to the little ones that are $500. But either way you go, it's still an opportunity to get money. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video, just sharing my 8 tips on how you can graduate debt-free. Don't forget to check out my blog where I go in depth about graduating debt-free, as well as offering curated tips and scholarship lists based on whether you're an HBCU student, international student, an athlete, and so forth. So with that being said, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course, share this with a student in your life today. Thanks.